Hello, wildlings. I'm your Creepsmith, and you found my Fear Forge. Lucky you. Tonight's tale, The Secret Behind the Song, by Tara Devlin. In college, I heard a rumor about a song that once heard is supposed to reveal the secrets and inner workings of the universe to you. Several weeks ago, I heard that song. The secrets of the universe were revealed to me, all right, but they weren't what I was expecting. In my work as a folklorist, I've come across all sorts of strange superstitions and fascinating rituals. There was one tribe, now extinct, that took a vow of silence upon reaching the age of 7. The children of the tribe, with no one to learn speech from, communicated through gibberish until it was their turn to become mute, and so the cycle continued. This tribe never had a spoken language. At school, I did a paper on similarities of tribes who thought it would be bad luck to have their picture taken or to have their image captured through painting or art. It was around this time that I met Jane, and it was she who introduced me to the Song of the Universe. That wasn't its official name, but that is what she called it. It originated in this very area hundreds of years ago, and while many claim that it was lost to the ages, others claim that it still exists. Some claim to even have heard it, and once heard, it will reveal to you the inner secrets of the universe. You'll never see the world the same way again. Now, whoever these others were that claimed the song still existed, well, Jane never specified, but nevertheless, the idea intrigued me. The notion that you could hear a piece of music and have it change your worldview wasn't new to me. But a song so magical that it could reveal the inner workings of the universe? That was at least worth checking out. I graduated college without hearing anything else about the song, and soon I forgot about it. But then a few weeks back, I received an email from Jane out of the blue. Subject line read, "I found it. You won't believe this. The song is real, and I am now in possession of the only copy. It actually exists. I listened to it, and I don't know how to describe it. It is amazing, beyond anything I've ever experienced before, ever. You need to listen to it for yourself. I've attached a copy. You can thank me later. Winky face." There was an MP3 file attached, so right away I opened it. 4 minutes and 13 seconds later, it was over. Wait, was that it? I was underwhelmed. My initial impression was that it was any tribal song you might hear by the campfire or maybe at a funeral. It was no language that I'd ever heard before either. I looked around, waiting for the secrets of the universe to be revealed to me. Would I see the world in colors or musical notes? Perhaps I'd be able to read the code that made up existence or instantly understand any mathematical problem presented to me. That sure would help with my taxes. But nothing changed. My computer screen flickered in the darkness, but it looked the same as ever. I went to the kitchen to grab a drink, ran some water from the tap, turned on the television, but nothing was different. The world was like it always was. I went back to my computer to send Jane a reply. Subject line, "I listened to it, but..." So what now? I listened to the song, but nothing is different. Where are these secrets it's supposed to reveal? If you're just pulling my leg, you could at least try a little harder than this. I'm pretty sure we came up with better songs when we were drunk, back in the day. If you come across any real news, just let me know, okay? I turned off the computer, went to bed. What a disappointment. It all started going downhill the next morning. After a rough night of dreams that I couldn't quite remember, I jumped into the shower to get ready for work. It was 5 a.m., still dark outside. The temperature fell to below freezing overnight, so I was not looking forward to going outside. I was getting ready to turn the shower off when something moved behind the curtain. I stood under the water, frozen in fear. The room was silent but for the sound of cascading water. Then it moved again. I jumped back, pain spreading through my side as I slipped and landed on my hip. I scrambled to my feet and charged through the curtain, hoping to catch whoever was on the other side before they knew what was happening. My arms grasped air, and as I extracted myself from the wet curtain, I realized I was alone. The room was empty. What the fuck? I ran to my bedroom. I ran through the entire house. No one was there, just me, naked, dripping water all over the floor. I got dressed, skipped breakfast, grabbed my phone, and headed out the door. There was no message from Jane. The cold winter roads before 6 a.m. are generally quiet. A few crazy joggers out before work, some trucks on their way to or from a late-night delivery, and one or two people on their way to work. I gripped my steering wheel until my knuckles turned white, on edge at every sound or movement as I made my way into the city. What the hell was that in my bathroom? The more I thought about it, the more it continued to scare me. Whatever it was, it hadn't been human-shaped. In the heat of the moment, I hadn't noticed, but thinking back on it, the shape was intangible. Like applying the blur filter to max and then shooting the object across the room. But it made no sense. Nothing made... The car screeched, and I slammed into a pole, my screams muffled by the driver's side airbag as it exploded into my face. I couldn't move. Pain shot up my back and neck and exploded into millions of tiny lights behind my eyeballs, but that wasn't it. The thing, was right outside my door, peering in at me, watching me, waiting for me to notice it. I squeezed my eyes shut. I could hear it. It was like a low-frequency vibration in my chest. It made no actual noise, but I could hear it. Like an ostrich with my head in the sand, I squeezed my eyes tighter shut and prayed for it to leave. Out of sight, out of mind. If I refused to acknowledge it, it had no power over me. That was how it worked, right? The vibration continued. A car pulled up behind me, and I heard people running over to see if I was okay, but I couldn't open my eyes. That thing was still there, watching me like a frozen sentinel, waiting to snatch me away. The door opened, and I heard a young woman's voice. "Are you okay?" The vibration stopped, and I opened my eyes. "Oh, you're bleeding." "I'm okay," I tried to answer, but she was already on the phone. "Yes, we need an ambulance." Her voice faded as the world turned to black. I woke up in the back of an ambulance, two paramedics standing over me. "They're awake!" I couldn't finish my sentence. My head pounded, and the bright lights above me assaulted my eyes. I clenched them shut again. "We're on the way to the hospital. You were in a car accident. Can you tell me anything about what happened?" The creature, the blur, the thing, whatever it was, the memories came flooding back. I tried to sit up, but the paramedic pushed me back down. "Calm down. You've injured your collarbone. You need to rest." It appeared before me as I was driving down the road. No, not it. They. There were two of them. Like lights made of sound, vibrations made of fog. Things that by all rights I shouldn't be able to see, yet I did. I saw them. They passed in front of the car, and in my panic, I swerved and crashed. At this, the larger one noticed me, and it had drifted to the driver's side window, waiting for me to notice it again. What the hell were they? If these were the secrets of the universe that the song was supposed to reveal, well, it could go ahead and unreveal them. I was quite happy without seeing ominous clouds of vibrations wherever I went. I thought I saw a cat on the road, I lied. I swerved to avoid it, but I guess I swerved too hard. The paramedic continued asking me questions, and before long we were at the hospital. The doctor checked me over, but there were no broken bones, no concussion, just a few sprains and cuts, nothing more that couldn't heal with some rest. I was to take the next few days off work and let my doctor know if anything changed. I got a taxi home, fired up the computer, and began typing. Subject line: what the hell? Jane, what the fuck? I've been seeing these strange things all day, but I don't even know how to describe them. I know you're busy with your frequent trips and all, but you need to contact me as soon as possible. This isn't right. I'm scared. Put some water on boil, rubbed my aching temples. My mind was in a shambles. Did this happen to everybody who listened to the song? Who else had Jane sent it to? I pulled out my phone and dialed her direct number. No answer. God damn it, Jane. I needed to reach her before she sent it to anyone else. We needed to figure this out. If other people heard the song, it could be dangerous. In one morning, just me alone, I had nearly broken my neck in the shower and then driven into a pole. If this got out into the public, it could be a catastrophe, mass hysteria. In a few short hours, I was already questioning my sanity, jumping at every shadow and hiding from every sound. I didn't know what these things were, but the buzzing vibrated throughout my chest. I closed my eyes and covered my ears. No, not again. Just leave me alone. Whatever you are, go away. I didn't need to turn around. I knew it was right behind me. It made no attempt to communicate. I wasn't even sure if it could or what it wanted. I crouched down into a ball, hiding myself from the world, I hoped. Go away. Leave me alone. All I did was listen to a song. Why are you doing this to me? The vibration moved up through my throat towards my ears. It was beside me now, looking over me, looking up at me, watching, waiting. The buzzing in my ears grew louder, like the world was being filtered through white noise. Voices. So many voices. None of them were coherent. All of them were in agony. I turned around. The room was full of beings. Buzzing, vibrating, shifting in and out of reality. Several noticed that I noticed them, flocking towards me like moths to a flame. I ran out the door, calling Jane over and over as I ran. I didn't know where I was running to, but the adrenaline kept me moving through the pain. As I looked around, I could see more of them. They were everywhere. Hovering over people in the park, watching people at crossings, sitting in other people's cars, hunched over workers at their desks. This was the secret behind the song. It revealed that which was hidden from plain view, that which man wasn't meant to see. Now, I could see it, and it was driving me insane. The phone in my hand buzzed. Jane! So, you can see them too, huh? What are they? How do I stop seeing them? What's going on? The questions began escaping like a mad stampede. I was close to tears at finally hearing Jane's voice, the one person who could help me out. I was doing research into that tribe, the one that took a vow of silence upon reaching a certain age. You remember him, right? Did you know that they only took that vow of silence recently? Well, What are you saying? I don't understand. They discovered a way to open one's eyes to the world, but when they did, they didn't like what they saw. So they agreed to never use their voices again, to never again unleash that which they could not unsee. My mind raced. What, the song came from them, from that tribe? Yes. About 50 or 60 years back, a certain man found that tribe hidden deep in the mountains. He heard the rumors of the devastation that had torn through them a generation earlier. Rumors of a song. He convinced these people with his fancy technology from the outside world, and though many refused to take part, many more were tempted by the things he offered. They broke their vow, and they sang their song once more. He recorded that song before disappearing himself a few months later. My ears and chest vibrated. I picked up the pace, trying not to look around, but also doing my best not to walk into a tree or a lake. I don't... Jane, you're not making any sense. That man was my grandfather. I found the recording amidst his old files. I didn't have anything to play the tape on, but I did manage to transfer it to the computer. I had no idea that it was real. You see them too, right? There are so many things that are hidden from us. It's not just the blurs. The blurs, well, they're just the start. Just the start? What do you mean? What have you seen, Jane? She laughed. It shook me to my core. You can thank me later. I thought I should share it with you first, considering our history. Every day I see more and more things that I never could have dreamed of. Now, I really know what lurks in the darkness, what watches you when you sleep. The things that are waiting for their moment to hitch a ride, to take over. The trap things, the free things. There are so many, and nobody knows about them. Until now. Sickness rose in my throat. No, she couldn't mean... Jane, what are you planning to do? Again, she laughed. I stopped. A blur, as she called it, was hovering over a young boy. He was crying, pulling at his mother's skirt. She patted his head and continued talking on her phone, not looking at him. The blur hovered, swarming around the boy, and then disappeared. The boy stopped crying and turned, looking right at me. He was several meters ahead, but he turned all the way around and looked right at me, right in the eyes. Then he went back to holding his mother's hand, and they walked away in silence. The air about him vibrated, darkened, and the mother continued talking, not a care in the world. It's time for the world to wake up. Wouldn't you agree? No, I did not agree in the slightest. Jane, you can't. The phone went silent. The buzzing was so intense I could barely think. They were all around me. The more people there were, the more blurs there were. They were all trying to be noticed. When they realized that I could see them, they began heading for me. I ran, ignoring the pain in my head and in my shoulder and in my collarbone. Fear, it's a wondrous motivator, and I was never more motivated in my entire life. The blurs were on buses, in the water, on the road. They were sniffing people out and following them around, clinging like a wet winter coat, hoping to be noticed. Because if people saw them, if people knew what was out there, well, you can figure that out on your own. The blurs still haunt me. I can't get rid of them. They're wearing me down, both mentally and physically. I'm a shell of my former self. I've tried everything, but there's no way to stop seeing them. It seems the only cure is prevention. So, if you receive an unknown file from one of your friends that comes in at exactly 4 minutes and 13 seconds, you check for the source. Find out where it came from. And you think twice before listening to it. You might not like what it reveals. Well, as it turns out, it really is a good idea to check your emails before you open them. Stay scary, my wildlings, and make the most of your nights.